Mm. Hi, everyone. Welcome to today's meeting in truth. Today, I'd like to talk about Parashakti and Aparashakti. And this is not just a theory, but it is a very important tool for us, a tool that can help us rise. Parashakti, para means above, beyond, is the unconditioned consciousness. I'm not going to go into the Samkhya theory, but Parashakti is a feminine principle that is latent in everything. It is unconditioned, pure, unbridled consciousness. And every single moment, we have access to our free will to the degree of us being able to choose para Shakti or apara Shakti. That's your free will. You have your given karmas, you have your given path, and just for the soul lessons, actually, the soul chooses. Imagine, I'm going to quote one of these fabulous Indian female teachers. And she says that the soul actually willingly, for no apparent reason, chooses to come into a life with a bunch of good eggs in a basket and a bunch of rotten eggs. And we can see that. Your life has a bunch of good eggs that are really nourishing, that are making you happy, and a bunch of rotten eggs. We can all attest to that, correct? And why I'm mentioning this is that through our practices, the rotten eggs, the amount of rotten eggs that we have brought in as souls into this experiential field called your life or earth, you can diminish the amount of rotten eggs. And I can attest to that fact in my own life. So, in fact, the Vedic science is so useful in guiding us here on earth. And in today's inquiry, we're going to see to what degree do we veer our life towards Parashakti or Aparashakti. So, Aparashakti is that force that is pulling you outward. The senses are being pulled outwards to experience the outside world. Now, listen to this paradox. Shakti is also, you can call her the multiversal energy. Your body is made up of Shakti. The world, as you know it, is made up of Shakti. Everything is moved by her. The planets, the multiverses are being created by Shakti. She has two roles, and they're paradoxical. She's just energy. And this is where good and bad don't exist in this regard. So she can either take you beyond your incarnation, beyond this very limited but body-mind experience, all the way to transcendence. That's the Parashakti. Or Aparashakti, she can draw you in, and draw you in to the mirage. She does both. And what you're feeding, it's maybe interesting that we have this talk just at the cusp of the new year. Yeah. So we can maybe start with this fresh breath of air, fresh illumination. That when we are looking at our lives, to what degree am I constantly being pulled into the mirage? When the senses engage with this life, when the senses are pulling you in certain modes of behavior in relationships at your work, in your family, in your romantic relationships, with your also relationships with your children. When we are feeding Aparashakti, you're spiraling downwards into this very limited body-mind experience. Mostly the lower three chakras. The solar plexus, the sacral, and the root. And look, most of our lives can just be filled with our survival, our sexual energy dispersing, meaning in what way are you using your sexual energy? And sexual energy is not just used for copulation. It can be used for creation, invention, can be used for transgression, moving to higher levels of consciousness, which we are doing, yes? So that is why Parashakti is so important, because we're actually utilizing her wisdom within our body in order to rise on the level of consciousness. But if we are stuck in the Aparashakti, we're constantly just projecting through these lower existential planes into this experiential world. And this is where our free choice lies. The free choice is, okay, there's a reality of survival here. I have to do and complete my duties, but do I also have a tendency to rise beyond and to ache for the soul, for the wisdom of the soul? Vedic science proposes 3 approaches in this sequence in order to stay more in the Parashakti instead of the Aparashakti. So these 3 methods are Icha, Jnana, and Kriya. Icha is that impulse, an impulse of fire or longing that we all have. If we're here, we all have it. It's a fire that urges us towards merging with the ultimate. Okay? That is usually brought in from past life attainment. There's past lives that you worked on yourself. You may have, been a yogi or Christian mystic, whatever you were, it doesn't matter. And then there is this deep remembrance of the truth. Why? Because that will never allow you to be blinded by the mirage of apara shakti. Apara shakti will play with you till the end, always. She is always here to play. Her lila is never ending. Lila means play. Yes? She will draw you in. She will play with your energies to engage in the next drama, to crave for this and that. She will always play because she is your body. She is your senses. Yeah? But if we have that past life remembrance of, oh, I've incarnated here again, but I remember that the purpose of my being is to just merge with the ultimate truth, using this beautiful life as a catalyst for you to make these steps. So we are not negating life, we are using life. But we still remember that we're not going to be blinded by the sensual engagements. Yeah. The Gyan Indriyas, which are all these senses that could be outward moving, or they could be turned inward. So we go into Gyan. So Icha is the first one. We have the fire that draws us towards the truth. But then, so what? So the next step is Gyan. And Gyan is acquiring knowledge, acquiring some kind of guidance, how to go about raising your consciousness. Now, in this regard, you can meet a teacher, you can educate yourself, or you can have your own attunement with your higher self. These are all teachers. You can have teachers from the ascended master realm. They don't have to be embodied. You can have it on the earth plane. They're all teachers. So you meet, let's say you're on this platform and you are now exposed to this information. And then you can inquire, is this for me? Does this resonate? Does this better my life? So that is an acquiring of Gyan. And then Kriya, which, yes, we practiced Kriya before, and Kriya is used very specifically as a conscious action that is hastening, making your evolution more rapid. Yeah. So Kriya is acting. Making, Kri just means action. Making the necessary action that will then accomplish that yearning, that desire for the ultimate truth. And that can be through spiritual practice. Let's say if you have a practice of sitting in meditation, and ideally, what is meditation? Meditation is for the sake of practicing, deepening into such silence. Silence is not just no noise, But silence is actually the truth of your being. And that silence is pregnant with all the potentialities. So if you're practicing different meditation techniques where ultimately they're helping your senses to turn inward, allowing this limited personality to just get a repose, stop whirling, in its whirlwind of confines. Kriya is also noticing that the brain produces alignments with certain thought patterns. The brain doesn't actually make your thoughts, but it is like a radio station. It tunes to your thoughts, tunes you to the thoughts that you have. And as soon as through our practices, you can, even for a very short time, move beyond the domain of thoughts, you start healing. That is the purpose of Kriya, action that leads you towards liberation. So you have the fire, you have the acquired knowledge, and then you take the steps. But you need to know exactly what you want. Because Shakti needs to know exactly what you want. You can't have this wishy-washy attitude. And once she really feels that your intention is genuine and you're truthfully craving for the truth, you're being guided. You're being blessed, graced, and guided. Okay, so let's start the process. This is also a Kriya. Every single time we move deeper and deeper into that silence that even lies beyond these words that are guiding, because the words are arising from that silence. So have a straight spine. And just scan your body. Scan your body, how much your senses are being drawn outwards. Maybe you ate too many sweets. Or maybe you had a difficult family situation. Just scan. Is there a residue? And just light up the back body, the spine. Visualize all of the main chakras slowly lighting up, but slowly. Don't just assume and rush. So start seeing a golden ball of light at the root level, root chakra level. And do you see that? Our play now with the chakras, it's also Shakti playing. You can literally start moving and clearing and adjusting your chakra system to the cosmic pure light. Because she allows you to do anything you want, to rise, if your intentions are pure. Turning on the root, and then bring your consciousness to the sacral area, second chakra, the womb and the hara level. And just allow to empty as these balls light up very slowly and they're spinning clockwise. We're emptying these centers from all the impressions, all the energies of others, all the hooks and cords that we created through our sense engagements. So that we start the new year attuned to your soul. Once you're attuned to your soul, the chaos subsides. The surface modulations of your mind cannot draw you in. Move into the solar plexus. And literally feel this immense stillness. And silence. It's a rejuvenating silence. And stillness that lies beneath all movement. Just like sound arises from silence. To what degree are you courageous enough to merge. The stillness and silence. Is the momentum of your thoughts and feelings drawing you into the field of chaos. We're holding space right now. We're holding space. The space of presence. Where all the chaos can be held. Just like a mother is holding a newborn child. It doesn't matter whether the child is in distress or it's happy. It's being held. Merging with the mother. And light up the heart space. You know that your inner light is always alit. That is represented by the Duni fire. Symbolizing the most powerful light, the lightless light. The light that gives rise to the fire. The light of consciousness. It's because of this light that you can experience yourself. Move into your throat. Light it up. Clearing all of the noise. The throat level is you being attuned to your guidance. And in order to adjust to Para Shakti, the wisdom of unbridled consciousness, we plunge into silence and stillness. There is an exercise that can revolutionize all of your relationships. You're talking with someone. They're talking to you and you're silent in that moment. You attentively look into their eyes. You're feeling your spine. And you start holding them. In your presence. You stop mentally answering to whatever they're saying before you uttered anything. You're just listening. And in that presence, you're feeling your own body, feeling their body, seeing their eyes, hearing their words. And you're hearing it from this deep stillness. It is like lending God's presence to this person. You cannot give more love than that. Allowing yourself presence another without a personal agenda. Why this is coming at the throat chakra level, this teaching, is because presence teaches us to be more silent, using less thoughts and words, so that we interact with essence. No agenda. Very slowly, you move up to the third eye. This light is illuminating your brain, this lightless light. It's always there. And with your third eye, center of the head, tap into your medulla oblongata, which is your Alta Major chakra, back side of the head where the neck meets your skull. Consciously make this contact, center of the head, the back side of the skull. Pure interaction. Back side of the head at the medulla oblongata is the abode of Ganesh. This is just the cosmic force, a child of Shiva in Parvati. Ganesh is very wise. He has a big head, very powerful cosmic force that is removing all obstacles. And in this conscious group, we intend the sankalp to remove the looping that we create unconsciously through reactivity within our relationships. Maybe let go of that which is not in alignment with the highest good. Feel this connection between your third eye and back side of the head. And you're downloading certainty of once we ask from the purity of our being, it is given. We ask to end the looping, all of the ways you're unconsciously looping in relationships that stands in the way of love, the love of our soul, that forces a wedge between our lower self and the soul. And the lower self just needs to feel safe. That is the level of the reptilian brain, medulla oblongata. And literally picture yourself as a little child, the back side of your head looking upwards towards the third eye. And you feel this immense pull of light. You look up, your eyeballs turn towards the center between your eyebrows. And you're being literally pulled upwards into the sound and light current. Ask. And it is given. You're being lifted through the skull, your crown, and you keep following with your eyes the light and sound current past your head. 12 inches above your head, you're piercing through the Dvadashanta, which is the seat of your higher self. Greet the reunion. And your heart is rejoicing. You look upwards. Do you dare to say, "Thy will be done"? You look upwards in supplication. Thy will be done. You see, this is the birth of light. This is the birth of Christed consciousness. This is the birth of returning home and being home of the prodigal son. Look upward in supplication. Thy will be done. It's the same as Tattvam Asi. I am that. I am the soul, which is one with God. This is the Para Shakti leading you home. You can live from here, or you can live from the shackle of your lower senses. But this force, once you attune, guides you to rise. And attune to the sound and light current that pierces through your causal body, the layer of your karmic database. We move past it. We're to the heart of consciousness. No agenda. You just feel that your entire system is being pulled upward, and you rejoice in aligning with the will of God. Literally, there's nowhere else to go. Your heart is bursting with this love, because it recognizes home. So that you can live in reverence for the life that you've been given. We bow down to this eternal force, the eternal purity, wisdom, and love. source of creation. Once you allow the will to guide you, the higher will, you align with the gyan, the wisdom and the knowledge that's embedded in your DNA. May all beings remember the light of truth, love, and wisdom. And it is so. Tatastu.